Hello and welcome to the Taylor Seminars, where we talk about how Taylor Swift turns life into poetry. My name is Hannah, and I'm here with my co-host, Exquisite. How are you?
Hi, Hannah. I'm wearing my Eras Tour hoodie.
I love that.
Like, maybe the new one.
I'm not. I'm wearing a jacket because it is cold in LA. It's like one of those puffer jackets. But
Nice.
don't worry about it.
I've been wearing the hoodie every day since Eras Tour ended.
Oh, well, yes. So I do. If I do sound a little hoarse, dear listener, it is because I am back. I somehow finagled. Well, I finagled 3 tickets. So I went to the last 3 shows in the Eras tour. I got 2 behind the seats and one side view that I had gotten from a friend, and it was a magical, magical time.
I'm so happy you got to have it. And I'm also so happy because it is Taylor's birthday. She's 35 today.
Yes, we are recording this a little later than normal, and it is past midnight on the East Coast. So happy 35th birthday, Taylor. 35, right?
Happy birthday, Taylor. And it's relevant to what we're doing today.
Yes, we are
To
not off
Robin.
topic. We are going to be talking about track 30 of the Tortured Poets Department, the anthology, Robin.
Happy birthday, Robin, because Taylor is Robin and Robin is Taylor.
Yeah,
We'll get into that.
we'll totally get into that. But yeah, this is a sweet little song that happens the second to last track. So this is the penultimate track of this double album. And it is this, I would call it like a lullaby, I think. A lullaby with
Yeah,
lush orchestration. Um,
yeah. And some interpolations of a past song.
oh my God, I can't. Yeah, it is. It is. And this is a Aaron and Taylor written and produced song. Just really quick, just scrolling down the credits. Yeah, this has a bunch of violins. It's got violas. It's got cellos. It's got double basses. It's got French horn, harp. It has a straight up conductor. So we know this is like an orchestra. If you weren't convinced, there's an orchestra. But it's also got Aaron on things like keys, electric guitar, bass
Hmm.
guitar, drums, percussion. So there, and the
Yeah.
arranger was his twin brother, Bryce. So I'm not surprised there
Yep.
either.
And it seems that a lot of people don't give this song enough
Oh,
credit.
they
They're
do
like,
not.
this is the worst song on the album. And I hope that after we talk about it a little, more people will give Robin the credit it deserves. And also, I just feel like people who take care of kids get this song.
Yes. Yeah.
Like if you have kids, if you're a caretaker, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me jump in. Long may you
Okay.
reign. You're an animal. You are bloodthirsty. Out window panes, talking utter nonsense. You have no idea. Should I keep going?
Yeah, you can keep going.
Strings tied to levers, slowed down clocks tethered, all this showmanship to keep it for you in sweetness. Way to go, tiger. Higher and higher, wilder and lighter for you. Exquisite is has burst into tears. Just so you.
No, because okay, like just opening it up, long may you reign. That is like she's like, may you have this forever. Like that's what you say to like a king. And then it goes, you're an animal, you are bloodthirsty. Like it's kind of messy. It's a messy reign. I don't know if we want this king to reign, but if you come at it immediately with she's watching a child play, it's like, yeah,
I mean, and what kid doesn't love playing like T Rex, right?
exactly.
Or a tiger, which we'll get to later. Um, and it's this, right? Like, and you, or I think because of the rain thing, I actually connected to like as a lion, like you're the king of the jungle,
Hmm.
right? This idea,
Hmm.
and may this kingdom of yours reign forever, and you're playing this animal.
Hmm. You're yelling out the window,
Yeah,
just
out.
not making any sense.
Yeah, and whether it's a toddler babbling or utter nonsense like making proclamations that no one's going to obey except in your little fairy tale land.
Hmm.
And then this end of the verse, you have no idea.
like no idea. And then what they don't have any idea about is the strings they're tying to the levers, like that are, imagine you're on a stage, right? The actors are not supposed to be aware of the tech people who are like making them fly on the stage or who are opening and closing the curtains. So you have no idea about the strings tied to levers. You don't know about the fact that I'm slowing down the clock.
Yeah, like
All of this.
the audience has no idea what all this production that goes into making something like a simple musical look flawless.
And so little Robin here has no idea about what the adults around him are doing because they're keeping it from him or
Yeah.
her. It's sweetness.
Yeah, to keep things sweet. I mean, there's so much good language here. Like, yeah, I love the strings tied to levers, slow down clocks tethered, all this showmanship. So showmanship is like all these the lights and the sounds and the fog machines and the charismatic ringmaster, all of this circus, so that you don't look past this world. I mean, it. I don't know if you've seen this movie called The Truman Show. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
So Truman Show, if you don't know, is a movie that came out, stars Jim Carrey, who it's not a spoiler, but he is basically lives in a made up world and the world just watches him like a reality TV show. And it's
Yeah.
literally a world that's keeping him distracted so people they can do like product placement and like he has like they put storylines in there for him. Um
They're not keeping it from him in sweetness. They're keeping it from him to be mean.
well,
To mock
yes,
this
yes, it's
man.
not yeah, it's no free will, but this is truly like I want you to keep your innocence. Yeah. You want to talk about the chorus a little?
Just the way to go, Tiger. It's like that is them keeping it in sweetness. Like they're encouraging little Robin like to go as high as possible and as wild and as light and to just not feel any type of like weight, you know? Like it's just so good.
Yeah. And way to go, Tiger is definitely like something you would say to a kid. Like, way to go, Tiger. Like, good job hitting that ball and getting to first base. Like, way to go, Tiger. You shot that basketball really well. You know, it's like it's like a cheer. And,
Hmm.
and I guess going back to the title of this, right? Like, Robin is a bird. Well, there's lots of things Robin could be. But to me, in this,
Yeah.
one very common definition is robin is a bird. And so for me, like this bird, this sweet little bird is going higher and higher. It's wilder. It's not stuck in a cage. It's lighter. It's not tethered down by anything. And
It makes I was just gonna say it makes me think of Seven, but specifically in the Long Pond studio sessions in Seven, when Taylor was talking with Aaron and Jack, and she was like, when did we stop just throwing a tantrum?
oh
When
yeah,
did we stop doing all of this?
yeah.
Um,
I even found another interview. Oh gosh, I saw it
when did we
on
learn civility?
Jamie's Tumblr, where it was like I want to. Oh gosh, now I can't remember the interview, but there was an interview where she literally says like, "When did we stop screaming like what as loud as we wanted?" Right? Like
I think
literally.
she also, I think I know which interview you're talking about. You're talking about the Evermore Folklore Songwriter of the Year Apple Music interview she did with
th- I think she
my
did
favorite
with
interviewer, dude.
Zane Lowe,
Yes.
but she also talked about it before. She was like a baby. She had like curls or something. It was very. Anyway, I don't know. She has definitely said it multiple times. Like this idea of like, where
When
did
did
this?
we
Yeah,
learn civility? Hello?
yeah.
Seven? Is that you?
No, literally, and it's this song for this album where she does talk about lost youth and innocence and what it means to do that. And this is something she's been thinking about for a long time. And we'll get to it.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
For a long time,
Yeah.
this lost innocence. But yeah, we
Yeah.
will get to it.
Do you want to do the next verse?
Yeah. Yeah. Long may you roar at your dinosaurs. You're a just ruler. Covered in mud, you look ridiculous and you have no idea. Buried down deep and out of your reach, the secret we all vowed to keep it from you in sweetness. Way to go, Tiger, higher and higher, wilder and lighter for you.
Yeah, I mean, so here we have again this child who is um, roaring at the dinosaurs, maybe because they are the largest dinosaur, really. They're a just ruler. So we go back to this, and the long may you roar, long may you reign. We have that little wordplay. You're a just ruler. You know, everyone wants to be the king or the queen.
Hmm.
But they are apparently playing in mud, right?
And look crazy.
You look, you are, you know, those kids who just faces streaked with mud, mud in the hair, mud in the shoes, but they turn to their mom and they go, "Mommy, look!" Right?
Yep. And it's like, they look so silly, but in that silliness, you're like, yeah, I need to protect this. I need to nurture this. Like, allow them, allow it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the narrator and the people around the narrator are doing for this child,
Yep.
because they said they buried super deep down
Hmm.
and out of his reach. So as he's digging in the mud, like, or they're digging in the mud, they're covered in it. They're covered in it, but they don't know that under all that mud, that their caretakers have painstakingly hidden the truth of adulthood and the truth of like what being a person may be like, and all of them took a sacred vow to never let this child find out.
Yeah. I love that you are connecting the mud to the buried down deep. Like that's really good
Mhm.
songwriting, right? Like that's tying
I
it
know.
together.
Like,
And yeah, this it's like right, it's the secret we all vowed to keep it from you. It's kind of that reminds me a little bit of like how we tell kids that the tooth fairy exists or like oh Santa Claus is real. Like we just know like oh we don't pop that bubble for as long as we
I
can.
know. And I remember when I was a child, I just never, because my family, we never believed in Santa. I
Hmm.
think we may have believed in the tooth fairy. I don't remember that clearly. Actually, I think we may have believed in Tooth Fairy for a little bit, but it isn't until you're older and you get around kids that you just like the reason you let them believe in Santa is because it's like a wonder. It's a wonder. Like
Yes.
it makes them so happy to see like the gifts and to like believe in something that is just meant to be pure joy
Yeah.
and nothing bad. Like Santa is not bad. Santa is a pure joyful experience, and it just is so cute to see kids who believe in that. And it's like, yeah, let them believe in Santa as long as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Kinda,
Yeah, kind of.
kinda.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
don't want to pop that bubble.
And so yeah, so they keep that going like way to go tiger, higher and higher, wilder and lighter for you, right? Like and
Hmm.
yeah. Well, why don't you read the do you want to read the bridge?
Okay. Yeah, I'll read the bridge. You got the dragonflies above your bed. You have a favorite spot on the swing set. You have no room in your dreams for regrets. You have no idea. The time will arrive for the cruel and the mean. You'll learn to bounce back just like your trampoline. But now we'll curtail your curiosity and sweetness.
I love that.
Like that whole Okay, like the reason the bridge like gets me is that they're listening like all these things that are like you believe those dragonflies above your bed are real. You have like in your childhood there are these like really good things that this child Robin has. Like they have a favorite spot on the swing set, and nothing like they're not filled with like night terrors. Nothing is waking them up in the middle of the night because the time for it hasn't come yet. And part of the reason the time hasn't come is because the adults in Robin's life are making sure it doesn't happen. They're protecting Robin
Yeah.
from
No,
it.
and I think that's actually a really important point is that this Robin has people to protect them. And not every child does. Right? There's not every circumstances like this, but you, Robin, because you are surrounded by these people who care about you and love you, yeah, they're going to make sure that the cruel and the mean don't show up. And when they do, you'll learn to bounce back, right?
Like
But
you'll learn to fight back,
yeah,
like you will,
yeah,
and it's gonna be just as easy as jumping on your trampoline. But
Yeah.
you don't have to right now.
Yeah, because right now we're going to protect you. We're going to in sweetness, right? And I think that's crazy. Yeah. So I mean,
Okay, wait. I so if you follow me, you know, just recently I was having it was Evermore's birthday, but I was having a meltdown about would have, could have, should have. And as I'm like sitting here and I'm looking at these lyrics and I'm looking at the part that's like, um, but now will curtail your curiosity. And I'm thinking of woulda, coulda, should have, and the lines that is like, if you would have blinked, then I would have looked away at the first chance. Like if someone had curtailed her curiosity or had
ooh.
like been there, then she would not have to wake up with the night terror. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. You have to kind of have somebody who's there, especially when you're young and innocent, right? Because what happened to her, like it became like because the time did arrive for the cruel and the mean, right? In that song, literally, a cruel man who took her girlhood, right? Like, um, yeah. And I think Would Have, Could Have, Should Have is a really great song to connect it to because it's a song. I read Exquisite Meltdown, so if you didn't, right, where, she wrote Dear John when she was 19. She re recorded it.
hmm
And looking back, it unearthed all these feelings where she's like, I was not okay. I'm
yeah.
still not okay.
Especially
And
because, like, oh gosh, part of it is the fact that we know a vague timeline of when would have, could have, should have was recorded. Because Aaron Dessner has told us that would have, could have, should have was recorded at the 2021, um, around the 2021 Grammys.
correct.
And we also know that that was right after she recorded Speak Now. She re-recorded Speak Now only because Taylor said that she was 32 when she did her Speak Now re-recordings. So, in all likelihood, it is not that much of a stretch to realized like she re-recorded Speak Now, went to the Grammys with Aaron, um, and a certain someone was performing at the Grammys actually, which is a whole nother level, and then goes back and writes Would Have, Could Have, Should Have, because it's like when she was 19 and she thought, she knew everything or whatever, she thought she was, she thought she was big and bad, she's a just ruler, and she was like, I am over, I am 19. I know everything. I'm fine. I'm going to write the song and call him out. And then at 32, she's like, oh, I'm not okay.
I mean,
This
in
is
the song,
affecting
she says,
everything.
don't you think 19's too young? Right?
She
Like,
said that. And then she goes back later on in her life, and she's like, I never would have danced with the devil at 19.
mm-hmm.
Like, if you never looked my way, or if someone had, like, if he was a real person, he would have curtailed her curiosity. Been like, no, don't, I'm not going to talk to you because I'm the adult in the situation.
Yeah.
And he didn't do
Yeah.
that. And I'm getting so mad. And then it's like, she says the time will come for the cruel and the mean. And Taylor has used cruel a lot. Like, I think one of, like, the favorite instance is casually cruel. Um, So it's like the time will come for people who are casually cruel to you and people who are terribly mean. The best mean song, Mean from Speak Now. The Speak Now, Midnight's connections are just all over the songs. She's like, but what happened to me isn't going to happen to you because I'm going to turn you the other way. What does curtail mean, Hannah?
To curtail
Because we've been saying this.
is like to curb or to stop, right? To kind
hmm
of, so to curtail your curiosity means to like put an end to reduce it,
So,
to put a restriction on.
like, it's like, yes, curiosity kills the cat, but in this situation, we're not letting this. We're not letting you go looking for that. We're gonna maybe turn your attention elsewhere. And it may seem mean. Like when you tell children they can't run out in the streets.
Yeah.
Like they get very angry at you, but it isn't sweetness. It's like I'm doing this to protect you and I know you don't understand right now, but when you're older and when the time actually comes for you to encounter bad things,
Yeah.
it'll be okay. It'll be like you'll know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like that you'll learn to bounce back like your trampoline because we've helped you, right?
Yeah, and I mean this song was I think played once. It was in a once live. It was I'm looking it up right now. Where when did she play it? She played it mixed
Was
with
she in London?
she mixed it with Never Grow Up. And so right like this so she started with the first verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and then she goes to Your Little Hands Wrapped Around My Finger and It's So Quiet in the World Tonight. And then, and then, oh, darling, don't you ever grow up, right? I won't let nobody
And
hurt you, won't let nobody break your heart, and even though you want to, please try to never grow up. And then she goes into the bridge of Robin, and then she goes back to then she does the bridge of Never Grow Up. Take pictures of your mind in your childhood room, which links literally to you have dragonflies above your bed, right? Like the
yeah.
those right. And then yeah,
Yeah.
so it was
And
quite a
it
mashup.
I know. And then okay, so in Never Grow Up, since we're on there, Taylor does one of my favorite Taylorisms, which is when she's singing a song and then she puts herself in the song.
Hmm.
So Never Grow Up, it ends with I wish I never grew up. Oh, I don't want to grow up. Wish I never grew up and could still be little. And so by combining them, she's like telling us, she's like, oh, maybe I am Robin.
Oh yeah, so
Maybe I'm
let's talk about
the
that.
Robin.
So yeah, so I mean, it is true that Aaron Dessner, Taylor Swift's musical soulmate, does have a child named Robin. It could this song I think definitely
Hmm.
could be dedicated to them, inspired by them. Um, but I also do think it is a bit of auto. She is shoving herself in there as
Yeah,
well,
autofiction. Like
right?
it's like I can so clearly imagine Taylor like okay, all my friends all smell like weed and little babies. So I can imagine Taylor watching either Robin with his kids or watching Blake with her kids, her god kids, and she's like I got to protect them from everything that I went through. Um and then writing the song and being like actually it sucks that I went through that too.
Yeah, yeah. And I will say, like, yes, she did go through a lot, some traumatic things even, but overall, I would say she did have a pretty good childhood, right? She did.
I know she said it.
She grew up in a Christmas tree farm. If you listen to the best day, right? Which I got never
I
the
have an
best.
excellent father.
Exactly. I got the best day X Never Grow Up at night one on Vancouver, and like right like she like loves her family, and she did have a childhood where she probably did make mud pies with her brother Austin, and she probably
Hmm.
did run around screaming ferociously. um and so I do think that there's just, and again, she talks about her
There's
youth
nuance here.
all the time, right? From everything from You're on Your Own Kid to Seven, which we talked about. Um, yeah,
So
it's
would have, could have, should have.
yeah, would have, could have, should. I mean,
Like, yeah,
y-
like it's all. I think for Taylor is just and she says it like she was raised very right, she had all this good stuff, and I think she feels like, or at least what the song suggests, because I never want to, overstep boundaries, is that her girlhood was ended abruptly.
mm,
Um, and that's part of what she's tackling all over the Tortured Poets department. That her girlhood was ended abruptly, and she is still dealing with the ramifications of that. And she, again, we've talked about this. Like Midnight's, she started it, and then Tortured Poets, she really got into it. Um, so it's interesting to see in this song with Robin where she is like, you know, like working through making sure like, or at least making a statement that childhood is something worth protecting.
Yeah.
Because children have no rights. Like they are an underprivileged minority.
Yeah, they're under
They are.
they're literally under the care of someone. That's just how it works, you know? But yeah,
And if the people around them, if the adults around them aren't conscious of the fact that these are little human beings who are absorbing everything around them, um, you could do some serious damage to a child.
yeah. Yeah.
And they're deserving of caretaking.
Yeah, yeah. Do you now then want to talk about the little interpolation that's in this song?
Okay, okay. Somewhere I can't remember if it's right before the bridge, after that same chorus where she interpolates peace. Like the piano part of peace is
The bass, sorry.
yeah, that's what it is. It is like embedded in this song. And Hannah, I want to know your thoughts on that. Why? What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, okay, so it's the I cannot sing, my voice is still
It's
hoarse
the
from
like do do do
yeah.
do. It's bad. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, thank you. You know what I'm talking about.
So it's a beautiful bass line that starts in that you hear in peace after you hear the pulsing.
Hmm.
And Peace is also one of the songs that Taylor did with Aaron. I'm gonna do a little Peace defense here right now. If you don't know,
I'm
Peace was
listening.
done in one take. He just recorded her, and she did that whole song in one take. And Peace is very much a song about my living like life with me is very difficult. It can be difficult, but
Hmm.
will you still love me tomorrow? Basically, right? Like
Yeah.
to borrow from another singer songwriter, and you can. It's very romantic in my opinion. If you're in some kind of terrible toxic relationship, it's not romantic. But if I see it in a
Yeah.
very in a very healthy romantic relationship, it's the question you always ask your partner, like
Yeah. Yeah.
is this gonna work?
I think it is very romantic if the unspoken answer is
Is
yes.
yes, exactly. If you know the answer is yes. Um, and so when I first heard a shout out to Brit, who's the maybe the only other peace stand who's like a bigger peace stand than me, was like heard the song. She's like, "Why is peace in this song?" And she had like a little like breakdown on the timeline, and I was like, "What?" Are you? And then I listened to it. I heard it, and I was like, so I think it's a little callback just to the fact that Taylor loves Aaron, and this is I think a little
Hmm.
bit of like Robin Aaron's child in it. But I
Hmm.
also think it's the idea of like, will it be enough, child slash myself Taylor, if like I can't protect you forever and you grow up, but slash I will still be there for you when this
Hmm.
whole age of innocence ends. It's like
When our coming of age has come and gone, I
exactly.
will still be there for
Yeah,
you.
it's very much like this. The answer is yes. Will I be there for you in your age of innocence? Gosh, isn't that like an Edith Wharton book? Oh, in your innocence, I will be there. Yes, but I will also be there for you when the time arrives for the cruel and the mean. Right? Like, I will be like to me. It's and that pulse in peace. That was supposed to be like this, like never changing, constant thing, right? And I think to me, it's again that consistency.
Consistency.
It's that
Consistent.
because when I hear those bass notes in peace and then I hear them here, I get such a sense of serenity and like hope and
Hmm.
comfort, and I think it's supposed to be in this song too.
I think so as well. Um, and I agree. Like for me, um, peace is so much. There's so much happening in that song. I love that song. I will always love that song. It means so much. It's more than just a love song. It's complicated. It's like what kind of headset, what kind of mindset do you have to be in to be worried so much about your existence that you have to kind of pre-apologize. But then, like Aaron said, when they were talking about it in Long Pond Studio session, he's like, it's like with me, for me, it's about like having to love me with my depression. Like if I will never not be depressed, like if I'm gonna have this for the rest of my life, I can never give you peace. Are you still gonna love me? You know? And that is just it's so beautiful. It's so much. There's so much contained in that one song. It's neither one thing or the other. And it's the same thing with Robin to me. Like what you said, it's like, yes, I will be there for you in your age of innocence, and I will be there for you even when you no longer need me, and when I can't bring you peace because the cruel and the mean are here. I'm still gonna be here.
Yeah.
Like it's so much.
Yeah. Yeah. And the way that she writes this song so simply and so but with such imagery is just fantastic. Right? Like
Yep.
I'm just rereading this, like it's so
Covered in
good.
mud.
Yeah, and like
Like
long may you roar at your dinosaurs is like so good.
I know. And then okay, like oh my goodness. Like and then so much of it like you can connect it to older other parts of TTPD. Like I'm looking at you have a favorite spot on the swing set and I'm thinking of Fresh Out the Slammer, the ending.
Mhm.
Not Fresh Out the Slammer.
No.
Yes, Fresh Out the Slammer.
Yeah, wearing
No,
imaginary rings, but it's going to be
yeah,
all right.
where we sit on children's swings wearing
Mhm.
imaginary rings because that she was imagining a childhood that she once had where they were on swings and that was when they were youthful and innocent before she gave away her youth for free, you know?
Which is from
Um
So Long London.
yes. So before she gave it away or before, she was used and then abused and then taught that
Yep.
to be like mean.
Yep.
Um and the time's gonna come for the cruel and the mean. Except in this, we're not gonna let the cruel and the mean teach you to also be mean
Yeah.
because you're gonna bounce back.
Yeah.
Like be, because we care about you and it's sweet. It's sweet. It is not like it, I was gonna say it's not sour, but it's like it's not something harsh. Like it's not painful because love shouldn't be painful. This is sweet and light and bright and hopeful.
Yeah, and I do think too like it's not in the whole context of TTPD like yes, it's sad that we lose our youth and even Taylor feels like she's lost it or gave it away, but the youth can come back.
I
So
was gonna say you get it back. So high
high
school.
school, right? We're like the brink of a wrinkle in time, bittersweet 16 suddenly. I feel so high school every time I look at you. Like innocence can be a state of mind, I guess.
Hmm. Like it is I do love that. Like it will come back. Or you as an adult, like you can make sure it doesn't happen to others around you. Like they don't have to lose it. Like it can come back and you always can start over.
Yeah, and uh Mary's song, all of the take me back, right? Right, like take me back to when our world was one block wide. I dared you to kiss me and you ran where I tried, right? Take me home where we met so many years before. We'll rock our babies on that very front porch, right? Like there's such like being young is can be a curse, but like being young can also be such a blessing
Yeah.
and
And having a state of youthfulness is not constricted by age.
yeah.
And when I think youth, and I think this is clear in the song as well, that we kind of get an idea of what Taylor views as youth, and it is like an unrestricted imagination.
Mm-hmm.
I think for Taylor, youth is an unrestricted kind of imagining, untouched by like doomerism, untouched by like cynicism. Like, yes, you believe you are a dinosaur. You are a tiger. You're a bloodthirsty animal. You're a ruler, right? Like, you are all of these things because you believe you are.
Yeah.
And therefore you are. Like, you just are. And we're not going to tell you that you are not a tiger because like an unbridled imagination. And I think that's kind of almost like the key to that hopeful fatalism that Taylor kind of has going on is that she can always imagine a better world. And I think when things got really dark on TTPD was when she could no longer imagine herself out of the situation. Like she had to break down and then try and build herself back up. Like, and she did. Like she said, she had to fake it till she made it. Like she had to fake that, like that exuberance and
Yeah.
that like joy and that this can get better, this can better. And then one step at a time, the faking became real, and she found her youth again because she was able to see it. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like give me back my girlhood. It was mine first, right? But
And then she
now
takes it back.
she did take it back.
No one
Oh.
gets to take that from you. Oh,
Yeah.
Hannah.
Yeah,
The things
I mean, I was
you
going to talk about the manuscript, but we're going to talk about that next week. You
Oh my
know.
God.
Yeah. I mean, so
What?
we will talk about the reclamation of your youth, your life a bit more
hmm
next time. But I think if you look at the TTPD track list, which I'm scrolling down to right now, like we can kind of see, right? Like how did we get here? How did it end? How is it ending, right? Like um
Yeah.
right, we had I think we had this like rock bottom, I feel like in the prophecy, right?
hmm
And then we had, Cassandra looking at a past experience through new perspectives, right?
hmm
Same with Peter, but that one was so that Cassandra was like broken relationships, like general.
Yeah.
Peter was broken relationships, romantic, right?
And yeah. And I think it's interesting because in both Cassandra and Peter, we get the narrator claiming more agency in all of them. By the end of Peter, she's like, I'm no longer waiting.
Yeah,
And in Cassandra, she's like, I was right.
yeah.
And I'm smug about it because I was right.
No, and then we have the Bolter, just a little romp, but also very much
Yeah.
like, hey, this is how I
It's an
survived.
and low-key some pride in survival. Like we get the pride in survival and knowing
I
that
did
she
see
can
your tolerate it breakdown because of Evermore's birthday, where you were like, "This is what happens when the Bolter stays too long. They become the protagonist and tolerate it." And I was like, "Oh,
literally when the bolter goes against her instincts,
yeah,
sometimes we get tolerated.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah." And they wanna, what is that? What would you do if I take this dagger in me and remove it? Like they're,
Yeah, believe me, I could do it because I'm the bolter.
yeah,
Gain the
um,
weight of you and lose it.
yeah, yeah. But then we have like this whole other change. Like you think Peter to the Bolter's a big jump, like Bolter to Robin is like whoa. And I think that's what confused people. Also, it was very, 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 very late at night when people were finally hearing Robin.
hmm
But yeah,
I think people will come around to this song.
I do think so too.
I think it's gonna take some time and
Yeah,
maybe some more edits. And I think it's gonna take people realizing that Robin kind of equals Taylor. Robin is Taylor. She's Robin.
yeah,
Like
and
she's Robin.
yeah, and I think
Some
that's why I think that's why she mashed it up with Never Grow Up. I think she could easily mash up Robin with The Best Day one day,
hmm
um, or Seven.
Exactly. Like it is. Yeah, yeah. Exactly. She
Yeah,
could be
it's
doing
a
that.
jewel. It's like a little hidden
It's
jewel.
Jewel.
Like like how kids always
It's
like,
buried down deep.
yeah, but you can find it.
Not going to keep it from you. We are not going to keep
We
Robin
are
from
not.
you in
We are not.
secret. We want you to know.
And then next
Um,
week we are going to do the manuscript, which is going to be
yeah,
this the whole looking back at this whole thing.
yeah.
Any
Um,
idea? Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just about to get really sappy because it's Taylor's birthday. So of course that is the time to get sappy. But because I sent Hannah a voice note before this episode because I was already crying. Um, no, but it's like I don't know without this album, without Taylor, how I would have made it through the year. Because this album exists and because Taylor exists, I get to talk to Hannah like once a week.
It
And
has been
sometimes I
so
really
fun.
need that talk with Hannah once a week. And I don't know. I am very happy to exist in a time when she does, and when Hannah does, and when William does, and when he will listen to this, and when a lot of people do. Um, and I'm very happy that that it's kept for us in sweetness. This podcast is for us in sweetness too.
That's so sweet of you to say, Exquisite. And
We need an emoji.
yeah, we need an emoji. I mean,
What's a sweet emoji? Do we have a sugar cube?
I'm sure
I don't
I don't know
think
if there's be a sugar cube, but I'm quite sure
yeah,
there would
honey.
be like a candy, maybe like a little candy sweet, like a lollipop,
Yeah.
or there is the little candy in the wrapper.
Mm.
Like the hard candies in the wrapper.
Yeah.
That's like a
One
sweet
of
that
those.
yeah, some kind a sweet candy, dear listener, would make us very happy. But
Something sweet.
yeah, something sweet to balance out all the salty tears you've been crying.
I'm just a little neurotic right now. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it has been the end of the Eras tour. It is her birthday after all. And yeah, we're looking forward to. So yeah, I think I can record this Sunday, but if not, we'll figure it. But anyway, but next Friday we'll have the manuscript out. Will that be Christmas?
No, next Friday is the week before
Oh
Christmas.
my gosh, we're gonna do this right before Christmas, and then we'll take a little
Like we're gonna
Christmas
end
break.
it for the year.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow. What a mind. Actually we
I
masterminded this, guys.
we did. We did this on purpose.
Yeah, we totally did. Well, thank you for listening, everyone. We will be back soon with the manuscript, and that will be TTPD. I'm sure we'll do a wrap up episode, and then
In
we'll
the
see.
new year, and then
Yeah,
be over.
and then
Then we'll see what Taylor has in store for us.
yeah, 100%. Thank you again, everybody. Bye.